what I think we should do. We should just take down this mirror right here behind me, put a couple pictures up, make it look like it's a, an office environment or something like that, and I can get a nice wide shot on the conversation. And yeah, I think that's the best we can do, because I don't think the rest of this apartment's gonna work.
Thank you so much to agree to do this documentary on funny women and actresses in Hollywood. That's amazing. I don't know if that's been done before. And how did you find me? We found you through I.O. West and Cake Batter's Funny Ladies of Comedy. Such a wonderful festival featuring amazing female actresses and improvisers and comedians. I love it. Thank you. Tell me how you knew that you wanted to be an actress. I was in the first grade. I was chosen to play Mary in our first grade classroom play. When I went home to tell my mother, I was not excited at all. I was very upset, actually. And my mother said, "Why are you so upset about playing Jesus's mother?" I said, "Because I have to wear a dress." I didn't want to wear a dress. I was a tomboy back then. And so I really enjoyed wearing jeans and t-shirts. And so my mother said, in her accent, she's from England, she said, "You are going to make the most beautiful Mary in the school play tomorrow." And I kind of believed her in that moment. So the next day, I went to class and I stood in front of my classroom with David, who played Joseph, and I saw all the faces of my first grade classmates. And I just leaned back a little bit on the chalkboard to take it all in and look at everyone's faces, and I think that was it. That was the moment when I knew. Silent nights, holy nights, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. In that moment, I knew that I was being blessed by God, Joseph, Mary, and the baby Jesus. I was going to be an actress. Oh, and that's great. So after that, I, studied acting in high school and did some modeling jobs. I did some bikini modeling for a swimwear company. And then I did an album cover. I did an album cover for a very famous jazz musician, and we had the 3 models, and we were sitting there, taking photos with him. And the last photo of the day, the jazz musician said, "Oh, let me take a picture with me and my Labrador Retriever." And I kept thinking to myself, oh, not the dog. Guess who made the album cover? Him and the dog. Thought to myself, I thought really in that moment when I shot that album cover that I was going to be famous at that point, and that just didn't happen. And then shortly after, I did another modeling assignment, and I did some promo modeling for a boxer, a very famous boxer, and I thought, this has got to be it. I mean, I'm gonna, people will recognize who I am at this point. And so we shot the promo, and it was so much fun. It was like, I thought, this is it. My promos are going to be all over Atlantic City, all over the world, and they're going to see me boxing this boxer. Yeah, that fight, I watched that fight. He got knocked out in less than 2 minutes. I mean, nobody wants to see those promo pictures. Everyone wants to just forget that fight happened. So I don't even think anyone saw them. And then, I moved to New York when I turned 21, and I joined a very famous improv acting school, and they give us an assignment to get into the middle of the classroom and to show what we do in the mornings and how we start our day. And there was a guy that went ahead of me, and he did his, interpretation and improv, and he took his shirt off, and I thought, oh my Lord, he is so open as an actor. I mean, I was so impressed by him. And so next it was my turn. I get into the middle of the classroom and I walk around and I make my tea and do all those normal things I do in the morning. And I mean, to be honest with you, I was so young at the time that I really didn't have an original idea in my brain. And so you know what I did? I took my top off too. I did. And I could hear him snickering in the crowd and, in the classroom. And I thought, I was so embarrassed. I mean, I was really embarrassed that time, and I left the classroom and I never went back. I did some other classes in the city, and I just never went back to the class. I was so embarrassed. I mean, I've grown so much more since then as an actress, so I feel okay with that. It was just, a good lesson. And then I graduated college, and, I was making all of those marks that you make in life, fall in love, check. Have this handsome, tall boyfriend, dark hair, check, 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 check. And I was graduating college and I wanted to get married. I wanted to be married and have a family. But I found out soon enough that he really didn't want to marry me. And so Valentine's Day we spent together, and about a week later, I broke up with him. And then I was free. I was free to do whatever I wanted. And so I was at college and I saw a sign on the wall, like a literal sign on the wall that said, go to Los Angeles, take your last 2 credits doing an internship for a Hollywood company. So 3 months later, I landed in Hollywood. And that's where it really all began. What was it like when you first moved to Hollywood? So here it was. I was hired full-time by the production company, and we were producing a sitcom. And so I went home and packed up my entire apartment in Philadelphia and flew to Los Angeles to live full-time. It's a very exciting time. And just a couple of weeks later, September 11th happened, and it was very sad. It was very sad for the whole country. And nobody was really laughing. It wasn't a laughing time, and our sitcom was canceled. And there I was, 3,000 miles away, no job, no friends, no family, no boyfriend. It's a very hard time. Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood, hop a flight to Miami Beach or to Hollywood. But I'm taking a Greyhound on the Hudson River line. I'm in a New York state of mind. I've seen all the movie stars in the fancy cars, in the limousine. Been high in the Rockies, under the evergreens. I know what I'm needing, and I don't want to waste no time. I'm in a New York state of mind. What was the first job that you booked in Hollywood? It's auditioning and doing the whole Hollywood, pounding the pavement, and I booked my first really big job. I did. I booked a small co-starring role in General Hospital where I played the nanny, and it was wonderful. I had, made quite a few bucks on that show, just a little, couple lines here and there. It was really great. And then, some Hollywood writer decided it would be a great storyline to bring in a mean nanny to take over the sweet, loving nanny's position. And just like that, I was out of a job. And that mean nanny had a phenomenal storyline. Child, I had the opportunity to see a movie called Shirley Valentine, and it's about a woman from Liverpool. And since my mother's from Liverpool and I'm half British, I was very intrigued by this play and movie when I was a child. And so I always practiced my accent. And I said, one of these days when I'm, middle-aged, I would love to do a one-woman show of that play. And so last year I decided to film a segment of it for my own use. And so I was reading the play again, and I thought to myself, oh my, middle-aged. She's the same age that I am now. But when I was a kid, I thought that she was old. That was a scary revelation. It was a wonderful experience, and I've got to use my British accent one more time for Shirley Valentine. Shirley and her daughter, and how they get to, get along, and she's looking for love and she's looking for passion, aren't we all? What type of other acting jobs do you like to perform in? Oh, I did perform in this pinup contest, and I thought, well, I can sing. I always love that song from Grease 2, Cool Rider. So I prepared my song for a couple months, and keep in mind, I'm really not a singer, but I do enjoy it. And I love that song. When Michelle Pfeiffer comes and she's in the motorcycle and she's just singing about, if you really want to know what I want in a guy, I want to dream on a mean machine and hell in his eyes. I want a devil in skin, tight leather, running as wild as the wind. 'Cause one fine night I'll be holding on tight to a cool rider, a cool rider. If he's cool enough, he can burn me through and through. Whoa, if it takes forever, then I'll wait forever. No ordinary boy is gonna do. I want a rider that's cool. Love that. I mean, that is my life. That is the story of, how I became an actress, and I knew I wanted to be, and now I am. What are you doing now in your career? Oh. Hustling. Well, thank you. There's a lot of really knowledgeable information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Stop.